So this doctrine or teaching, if you like. So this doctrine has two different interpretations. Idealism, they said, has two different interpretations. We have one, idealism, and idealism. That is idealism and idealism. The reason being that the major argument for this school of thought, they said, is that essence precedes existence. Essence precedes existence. Essence precedes existence. Essence here being ideas. And what are these ideas that we're talking about? Ideas here, they simply say that in life, whatever you see happening, whatever you see as existing, it must first of all start as an idea. We must first of all have an idea of it before it comes to existence. Isn't it? Because we found out that, for instance, now, if I want to create something, think about the first person that designed the aeroplane. Did he just started with just design the aeroplane like that? No. He first of all had the idea that I need to have something that is going to fly. A machine that can fly. A machine that can transport people. Go? He first of all had to nurture the idea. That nurturing of the idea is what we call the essence now. The essence must come before the object itself, before it becomes into existence. This is simply what they are saying here. Ideas must come before things come to be. Such ideas that are in our heads are in form of essence. What you are thinking now, the kind of idea that is in your head, for instance, about objects, they said that what is in our minds is so perfect that it is even more important than the object itself. Because you can kill an object or you can destroy an object, provided it is already in form of physical matter. It can be destroyed, but you can never destroy an idea. That means ideas are immortal. Ideas, they said ideas are so perfect and they are also immortal. Because ideas cannot be destroyed. You can only kill the person that started an idea, thinking that you have already destroyed the idea. But provided he has shared it with someone, the idea lives on. Oh? The idea still lives on. So, this is the first thinking. For instance, now think about, there is this explanation about the cat. The cat. When I say the word cat, what comes to your mind? I just said the word cat. What comes to you when I say the word cat? I don't want to give you any story about the cat. That is what you should know if you want to know.
It could be an animal or an ancient driving.
First thing, that a cat is an animal. Who? Is it two-legged animal? A four-legged animal. You begin to describe a cat now. Because in your head you know that a cat is an animal. That animal is four-legged. And again, that animal, they said it has a shiny coat. A shiny coat in that if you touch it, it's so slippery, so silky. Go. That is how its own feather or skin looks like. The fur, rather, thank you. That is how it looks like. And they also say that it has also another thing, another feature, that it pores or pouring. Meaning that we've already have a description of what a cat is now. Cool? Not knowing that now in your head you all have the idea of what a cat is or what a cat looks like. And now decide to come to the classroom. Just drag something. Just drag one goat like that. And I'll drag it in the classroom. Find a place and just tie it there. And I say, class, meet my favorite cat. What will come to your mind? And I say, meet my favorite cat. You see, so he's already laughing. Go. You're going to say, Kai, Malam say, uncle. You go. It's like, this Malam has taken something bigger than his head. Go. And that is not a cat. Because you're pretty sure that is not a cat. A cat does not look like a goat. So, the picture of a cat in your head, or the idea of what a cat is in your head, can never be tempered with by my thinking or my doing. Because you already know as a fact what a cat is. I don't know if you're getting it now. That is why they say that ideas are the ideal. That's idealism, the doctrine of the ideal. Meaning that ideas here are the ideal. Ideas are the perfect sample. When you're looking for the perfect, when you're looking for perfection, you find it in the what? In an idea than the object itself. Yes, I might come with a cat in the classroom. It looks like a normal cat, but it has 3 legs. It has 3 legs. The only thing you might think is what? This cat is deformed. Go. This cat is. You just begin to pity the cat. Knowing that is not that cat is not a normal cat. That cat is not like how it should be. Because you know that any cat that is normal cat should have 4 legs. Go? Which means the idea of what a cat is in your head is so perfect. And you can easily detect that there is a flaw there. Go? So that is why they say ideas are the ideal. But in objects you see a lot of imperfections. You see a lot of imperfections in objects. You can take this from the dimension of how we as human beings are. Your soul is so unique, but your body is made up of matter. And as such, our bodies are made up of so many imperfections. Cool? So many imperfections here and there. Because the idea or the spirit, what is within you, which is the most perfect thing, you can't see deformities in the spirit. Like the way you can see such in a human being. Cool? Simply because it has turned into matter. That was why there's no way you can think of God being in a flesh. Because he'll be vulnerable. God cannot be a form of flesh. Because objects are vulnerable. Cool? Just like the way this reminds me of something. When God was given an example about him being called someone. When he was referring to Mary and her son, he said, look, they eat food. Someone who is eating food is weak. Oh? He said, how can you worship Mary? She eats food. God is telling you that he cannot eat food, because if he eats food, he's going to be weak. Talking about strength here. Oh? So ideas or spirits are more powerful than objects. So this is simply what this idealism is talking about. I wish we had more time. I would have explained a lot of other things, but let us stay there. Let us quickly go into other areas like the proponents of idealism. We'll look at the proponents. We have Plato. We have Kant. We have George Berkeley. And a host of others. Leibniz is also one of the idealists. Number 2. K-A-N-T, Kant, Immanuel Kant. But mind you, the Immanuel Kant in philosophy here is a German philosopher. It's not the Immanuel with E, please. The Immanuel with I. In philosophy, our Immanuel is with I. Not the normal Immanuel that you know with E. You understand? This Immanuel Kant is the one with I. Now? Apart from Hegel, is Berkeley, George Berkeley. Plato, for instance, gave us what we refer to as the theory of forms. Theory of forms. Yeah, that is just how we know him. Although if you go deep into his biography, you find out that he has another name. But for the records, he's just referred to as Plato. Just like though you've been hearing, have you ever had someone giving Aristotle a second name? They simply say that Plato of Athens, or Aristotle of Athens, or Stagira from where he came from, where he was born. Oh, the Greeks have a way of kind of maybe hiding the second name. I don't know the reason why they do that. Even Socrates, it's just one name. Oh, yes. So that is it. So this Plato gave us what we call the theory of forms. And under this theory of forms, he said that theory of forms, from form, F-O-R-M, the form of something. That form of something was like the shape of something. Oh, shape a shape of an idea, or let me say an object. For instance, we have different shapes. We have the square, a triangle, a circle. All these are forms. Taking different shapes. So this form, they believe, Plato believes that this world of forms or world of ideas is the world of perfection rather. Is the world of perfection, such that if you're looking for ultimate reality, you seek for ultimate reality in the world of forms or in the world of ideas. Because he believes that these ideas are indestructible. These ideas are so perfect. Such things as, for instance, now you think about the perfect circle. The perfect circle. What are the properties of a perfect circle? What makes a circle to be perfect?
When it's not an oval shape.
When it is not an oval shape. Very good.
When it's distance from the center, when you point to the second.
Cat scientist talking. This is exactly what is this. When you travel from the distance, or the distance that you travel from the center to any part of the circumference of that circle, it will give you the same measurement. Then you say that circle is a perfect circle. The only way we cannot draw a perfect circle is using a compass. Use a compass to draw a perfect circle. If you don't do that, you are likely to fail in doing that. Because if you do it freehand, no matter what, that measurement will definitely find a way of getting back at you. So this perfection that I'm talking about is that the idea that we want to discuss here, that just like a way of a perfect circle. You understand? That ideas are just like a perfect circle. They are so perfect in themselves that you don't see imperfections inside them. Do you understand? So that is what Plato brought for us. He said so much. And in fact, this even started the idea of idealism. This actually started from this work, from this theory of forms. Because when you go deeper, you understand what I'm talking about. But at least you have the basic information that you need about the theory of forms now. When you lay your hands on it, the sky is your starting point. Then Immanuel Kant, somewhat in sequel to what Plato have started, talked to us about what you call the nominal world and the phenomenal world. That in this life we have what we call the nominal world as well as the phenomenal world. We call it nominal and phenomenal world. That is what Immanuel Kant told us. This nominal world is simply discussing about the world of forms of Plato. That is the world of ideas, the world of spirits. Such world whereby you don't actually get imperfections. While on the other hand, in life we also have what he referred to as the phenomenal world. That is this world of objects. This is because he doesn't want to ignore the fact that the phenomenal world also exists. Because Plato was somewhat lost into the theory of forms and also on somewhat not discussing much about the other side of the world. So when Immanuel Kant came, he kind of gave a 2.0 version of Plato's world of forms. You see how we call the growth of knowledge go? So he just said that we also have the phenomenal world. That world is the world of events, the world of objects. And that world is also existing on its own, it's real. However, that one is superseding this one because we get this one from that one. But that doesn't mean that this one is actually useless. Do you understand? That was how Immanuel Kant came to kind of refine the thinking. Now, going by the next person, that is Horns, he said that the material is explained by the mental. The material is explained by the mental. Meaning that in life, whatever you see in form of an object, you will not understand it better until you know how it all started, what the idea that actually built it. You will understand it better when you know the genesis, how it was designed. For instance, now you wouldn't understand how intricate a car is until you look at the diagram of how it was designed. What is inside the engine? The block engine that is inside the car and how it functions. What is within those tires? The kind of wheels, the things that are holding the wheels, the wheel cover and what have you. When you understand it from deep inside, that mental will give you a perfect understanding of what is the material or the mental. From mentality. Not metal. Now, that is Horns. Then Hegel, on the other hand, he has said that consciousness is the basis of reality. Consciousness is the basis of reality. Meaning that when you're conscious, when you want to really understand what reality is, when you are sleeping, you are not living in the real world. When you are dreaming, you are unconscious. But when you wake up and you come back to your senses, then you are beginning to experience true reality. That's because of your consciousness. That means they say that, for instance, here now, your conscience is what makes you to experience reality. The reason why we brought this is that there are other areas. For instance, now what we were discussing about the concept of the mind. Immanuel Kant said something about the mind too, saying that for someone to understand things in life, you need a functioning mind that will reflect over what you are doing, such that when you see things, they don't just go through like that, just go through your eye without going through the mind. Because it is the mind that will interpret what is actually happening, or what you have seen, or what is about to come to you. By what? Going through what through your conscience, your conscience, or that functional mind, as he said. You will see when we come to do argument about knowledge. You will understand what I'm talking about here. Berkeley, on the other hand, said that to be is to be perceived. That for something to be in existence, it must be perceived by a functioning mind. Mind, again, coming back. That perception of the mind is what meant to be is to be perceived. That is what they say, essay pacifique. Essay pacifique. That essay pacifique of George Berkeley, they said that it was too extreme. Now?
This one, Berkeley, this one.
No, he was from British philosopher. From Scotland, I think. Scottish. Essay pacifique. Now let me quickly look at them based on these three areas. we should know that in each of these schools, we are going to look at them based on the 3 branches of philosophy. Meaning, we are going to look at what they think about reality, what they think about knowledge, and what they think about values as well. Then we will now look at what we call the educational implications. That is to look at what is the aim of education for that particular school, what is the curriculum, and what should be the teaching method. Do you understand? So, now starting with the 3 branches of philosophy, as far as idealism is concerned, based on metaphysics or based on reality, instead of the reality exists in the ultimate reality can only be found in the world of ideas. Ultimate reality can only be found in the world of ideas, the world of forms of Plato. Do you understand? That is their own reality. And that this reality is mostly explained by the mind and not actually our senses. Meaning that our mind is what makes us to be conscious. If our mind is not actually here, there's no way we can actually understand. Meaning that, for instance, when we talk about consciousness is the basis of reality. I said that according to Hegel, consciousness is the basis of reality. Meaning that what is real can only be understood by your mind. That mind is very important as far as the idealists are concerned. So, secondly, with regards to knowledge, that is epistemology, they said that knowledge is a recollection of ideas, not learning something new. Meaning that when we teach someone, we are not actually teaching him something for the first time. He or she already knows that, or has already that knowledge latent somewhere in his what we call the subconscious mind. We as teachers are only midwives helping him to bring out what is already within him. I don't know if you're getting the point here. This is what they are saying according to the idealists. When you see a pregnant woman, for instance, you're not giving her that child. You met her with her child. As a midwife, you're only helping her to bring the child out. So you as a teacher, you are simply a midwife. That was why you come to understand that when we are coming to the educational implications, we see what I'm talking about, the teaching method that they will employ here. So, knowledge is a collection of ideas and not making people to learn new things. They already know it, you're only reminding them. You're only helping them to remember what they have forgotten. You understand? They somewhat believe that this knowledge by acquaintance that we have discussed under epistemology, that knowledge by acquaintance, you are somewhat, in the beginning of you learning it, the time you learned it for the first time, wasn't actually you. It will feel as if you're just reminding yourself about what you have lost. And secondly, they said that the mind is the chief organ of knowledge. The mind is the chief organ of knowledge. Meaning that if your mind is not functioning, you can't learn anything. For instance, now someone could be in this classroom with us. Cool? But if his mind is not here, that person could be hearing but not listening. Cool? Because listening goes with comprehension. While hearing is simply you are just hearing the sound waves passing from here and living through the other side. Cool? But someone could not be hearing, well, when you say, call the name, what did I say? Say, please repeat what you said. Cool? I've said a lot of instances where someone will be talking to you. I just tell you to please repeat because your mind has never been with that individual. Maybe it's either on your phone or you are thinking something so deep outside even that environment that you are sitting down. Cool? That is why they say if your mind is not functioning, you can't learn. Now we are coming back to what Immanuel Kant was talking about having a functioning mind now. Cool?
So that mind is abstract.
The mind. Abstract, I said.
You can't see it, you can't feel it. Just like I'm relating it to consciousness.
You are relating to consciousness. You understand? But this mind, if you want to go deep into this philosophy of the mind, there are a lot of writers. We have people that are writing so much about the philosophy of the mind. Just put that in your Google. Just say philosophy of the mind and see what you get there. You see what our people have said a lot. Philosophy of the mind. I wish we have that time, but I don't have it now. But at your own time, you can do that. Okay? So the mind, they said, conceives knowledge. That means knowledge is conceived by the mind and not by the senses. The senses could be there, but if the mind is not functioning, the senses could not actually function. That is simply what they are arguing here. Okay? And then axiology, or the question of values. It's a knowledge, is a collection of ideas. And it's also conceived by the mind. Cool? He said the world of forms is the ultimate reality. Now, values. Here, they said values are universal. Values, according to the idealists, are universal. Universal in that there is something they used to refer to as the universal mind. The universal mind. Somewhat saying that the universal mind actually controls all other individual minds. Meaning that what is valuable by the universal mind will be valuable to all other societies in the world. This universal mind is sometimes attributed to the concept of the God, the mind of God. Saying that whatever, for instance now, the value of wisdom is a universal value. Universal in that across all societies and across all times, you'll find out that wisdom is virtuous. It's a revered virtue. That whoever is given wisdom, you find out that he's uniquely given a different respect. The respect that he or she is given will not be the same as someone who doesn't have that kind of knowledge. That is why they say that knowledge, wisdom here is a universal value. Other values, such as the value of justice. The value of justice is a universal value as well. Courage, temperance, all these, courage and temperance. Temperance, just like this, now? Patience is part of it. Self-control, that is more of it. Having self-control, that across all societies, people believe that someone who has self-control is uniquely different. Is respected. You can hardly intimidate that kind of individual. Now, the value of justice, we said, is also universal. That courage, they're all universal. Because no one likes a coward. You find out that all societies and all sexes, you find out that a lady doesn't like someone who is a coward. Go? She doesn't want to say that. To see something that is scary, and while she's trying to hide behind her husband, and he's also hiding He's hiding for leave me alone and he's running away. They don't like that kind of individual. Go. They want someone who, once a danger comes, he will stand courageous and he's ready to defend her. Go. And it's like that across all societies. That is why, even because with this courage, it is only with courage that you can also venture into entrepreneurship. After all, they say that even all entrepreneurs are risk takers. Well, they are risk takers. You can't expect to have high profit if you're not ready to take high risk. They say that high risk, high reward. Well, yes, it's somewhat courageous, but you have to be careful. Yet, if you don't actually venture into such businesses, there's no way you can ever know whether there is success there or not. So this is what they're talking about. According to them, they look at these virtues, or values rather. They consider these values that are universal to be across all societies, and that some virtues are higher than others. For them, justice is the number one virtue, followed by wisdom, then courage. Meaning that these values themselves have hierarchies. They have hierarchy in their values. And every society, if you follow this, justice is the number one. For them, if there is no justice, there's not going to be peace around. If you can't have peace, there's no way you can discuss about wisdom, about knowledge. There's no way you can discuss about going to school. If there's no peace, no one can go to school. Go? So that is why they have hierarchy in their own values as well. So that is that. Now, having discussed the three branches of philosophy, now let us quickly look at the curriculum for the idealist. The curriculum. First of all, before the curriculum, let us look at what we call aim of education for. Aim of education. What is the aim in education? What should education aim at? The education of the society, according to the idealists, they said that education should aim at self-realization. Education should aim at or target the soul. They should target the character of the individual. Because that character is what makes up the flesh outside. It's what makes up that human being. So that character of individual should be built such that he attains what they call self-realization. When someone is self-realized or someone is morally refined, that individual is going to be a functional and useful member of the society. So education should aim nothing more or less than this: the character and self-realization of the individual. Do you understand? So the curriculum, they said, since if you have your aim and you know what you're aiming at, since you're aiming at a morally upright someone, moral uprightness, then you're now going to look at humanity or at courses. At courses that are going to actually be beneficial to this aim in education. They said courses like history, literature, philosophy should form the bulk of the curriculum. History, like in those times they use what they call the classics. Classics. They call it the classics. Those classics is just like studying what we call history of educational ideas, for instance now. You're studying how it all started. So when you're studying the classics, they will give you so much about what happened, such that you can also learn from the past, the people of the past, or the heroes of the past. Oh, like in Nigeria here, they would want us to know who the heroes are. They will give us history of Nigerian education or Nigerian philosophy or Nigerian struggles, ranging from the days of colonialism up to the days of independence. The struggles that actually ensued during the self-governance issues from 1957 to 1960, and all the rigors that we went through from 1967 to 1970. Cool? As Nigerians, we would need to know what happened in those days, those years, if we really want to understand ourselves better. Cool? And know the kind of people that struggled for us and how they actually made it. So that is the kind of curriculum that they are talking about: history, literature, philosophy, and other art courses. Then they also believe in mathematics. Now, teaching method. The teaching method, they said, is what we call the Socratic method of question and answers. Questioning method, or questions and answers. This Socratic method, according to them, should be what we employ. This Socratic method is simply when you come to the classroom, you don't just actually continue dishing out information to the students. You first of all ask them questions. You ask them questions based on the topic you are going to treat, and you keep on refining their answers. They say if you really want to understand about this Socratic method, you can go through this dialogue of Plato, the Meno dialogue. This Socratic method of teaching, you should go into this dialogue written by Plato, the Meno. It will give you a typical example of what they mean by the Socratic method. How Socrates was actually asking this student called the Meno so many questions about some mathematical issues. And the kind of answer that the child was given, because Socrates called him to show people that we are not actually teaching people new things. We are only helping them to recollect. This was how they prove what they call knowledge is the collection of ideas and not actually learning new things. You understand? He tried to prove it. He proved it inside that Meno dialogue. You see how they actually were able to prove it, and the kind of answers that the child was given, and the way Socrates continued asking him questions, and then at the end of the day, they came up with something very beautiful. Do you understand? So that is about that. Let us quickly criticize them now. A critique for idealism. Idealism, critique. How do we criticize this school of thought? Mind you, when we say we are actually criticizing someone, it doesn't simply mean we are condemning him. It also means that we are going to look at the strengths as well as the weaknesses of his or her own argument. Okay? So when we're assessing idealism as a school of thought, we expect that we should try to see how it actually applies to our own life and how useful it is, as well as how weak it is. The first criticism given to idealists is that idealism is inimical to science and technology. inimical to science and technology. It doesn't say much. It was silent about science and technology. Even though we have some other philosophers that came at the contemporary times, like George Berkeley and Immanuel Kant, still after the Copernican revolution, they were still silent about science and technology. They were more interested in arts and at the same time spiritual issues. Do you understand? So they didn't say much about science and technology, so that was why they criticized these people. They said they are weak in this area. However, whether we like it or when it comes to morality, when we are looking for something that is very close to our religion, when we're talking about morality issues, then idealism is very strong there. It's very strong when it comes to issues of theology and morality. Because the courses that they're actually looking at from their curriculum, we found out that they are using what we call the Socratic method. And that Socratic method is itself what we call learner-centered teaching. Somewhat learner-centered. Even though, according to them, they believe in what the teacher-centered, because they think that the teacher is a role model. The teacher is a role model according to them. And as such, the student should learn from the student, to learn from the teacher. Being that they believe that the teacher is more experienced, so the child should be molded in the image of the teacher. And you find out that in many places, we don't like anyone to teach our children. We are selecting the kind of people we want to teach our children. Simply because we believe that that child can learn from that individual. So, and at the same time, if he is doing something wrong or he's dressing somehow, it will be, the child will also learn such things. So that is why we are very careful in selecting who we want to teach our children. That is why these people say that the teacher is a role model, because he's a representative of the society. And as such, the child should actually be molded in the image of the teacher. So that is another thing, that is another critique we can give them, because they have said so much about morality. And when you look at these issues of the mind, they have talked so much about the human mind. They have made us to really understand how the human being functions. Well, because we, by our nature, we said initially that we are dual beings. We are made up of flesh, or body and spirit, or soul, if you like. And as such, we can't understand ourselves if we don't really go through this philosophy of the mind. And these people are the people that have said so much about the philosophy of the mind for us. So we can't understand ourselves better if we try to ignore idealism. Do you understand? And again, finally, it is the first philosophy. All other philosophies that came later found their basis from idealism. That is why we find out that the next school of thought that came after it, which is realism. I think we'll close it at this realism. I know what will come next time. We'll continue with realism. We find out that even this realism itself started as a philosophy, as a different camp, or as an opposition camp to idealism. Their ideas were different from those of the idealists. Even though Aristotle, being one of the students of Plato, was uniquely different. So you find out that they have their own basis based on what they have learned from the idealists too. So any question? We want to close the classroom. Any question? Consciousness and the mind. Consciousness and the human mind. The relationship. Well, consciousness, like they said, have to do with the ability to be awake in the first place. Cool? You have to be awake and also healthy to be conscious. Even though sometimes you could be awake, but you're not conscious. If, for instance now, you take some substances, cool? If you take some wrong substances at the wrong dose, you might be conscious, but you're not actually yourself. You understand? And so, that consciousness, your mind, that consciousness can only function based on, your mind can only function well if your consciousness is already alive. Or if your consciousness is active. This could be in form of whether your eyes are open or your eyes are closed. Your eyes could be closed, but your mind is functioning. Well, so there is a kind of a close relationship between the mind and consciousness, because that you can even call the consciousness to be the mind in short. Consciousness, somewhat. Or they move pari passu, if you like. They move pari passu. Any question? That is what we're talking about here. But like I said, when the consciousness is not awake, your mind cannot actually function. This is exactly when we talk about the madman. The madman is conscious. Go. And his mind could even be together with you. A madman could be listening to you as you are talking. Go. But the kind of answer that he will give you back is a type. I've been wasting my time for this. Go. Simply because you're not actually comprehending. Do you understand? That was why J.W.L. Hegel said that consciousness is the basis of reality. Well, because whatever is real, if you're not conscious, it's not real for you. Even if no matter how rich you become while in your dreams, as soon as you wake up, you say, "God, I really wish that dream is true." So, as soon as you wake up, because that is the reality that you're already facing, you ask yourself, you really wish that dream is true, because it's not a reality. Because while you are dreaming, you are not conscious. Because if you are conscious, your conscience will tell you that, guy, so that conscience that is within you will tell you that this is just mere thinking. So, as like if you are doing what we call daydreaming. If you are daydreaming, you know that definitely inside you are simply just hoping for something to happen, but you know that it's not happening. But in your dreams, you see that you are already in it. You are already engaging in whatever you are thinking. So, but as soon as you wake up, you say, "Hi," because your mind is back again, and your conscience is also alive. So that is actually my take. You can have a different thinking. Yes. Phenomenal. World of realities and events. The nominal is like the world of forms of Plato. The world of ideas. You understand now? Mm-hmm. And I was saying that he even bettered the thinking of Plato. That Plato was just talking about the world of forms. He didn't tell us much about the world of objects. So Emmanuel Kant tried to kind of improve on that thought. So he was conscious about telling us about the phenomenal world as well. Go? Mm-hmm.
On the idealism, so the mind is the chief organ of knowledge, according to them. I try to also criticize and do wrong.
Okay.
The reason is, when you look at the sense of that,
Mm.
talked about the forebrain, the hindbrain, and the midbrain, where the information is stored in the code. And actually analyze it. Actually, it's proved the fact that the mind is.
You know, you yourself said that the mind is something spiritual.
Yeah.
Go? I think you said that.
Yeah, abstract. You can see.
The mind is a spiritual thing. However, there is something, you know, when we're discussing about this issue of the mind, there are a lot of things there. A lot of things there. Like in Islam, we're told that it is your mind that learns, not your head. You learn by the mind. You're not talking about the head here. You understand?
The information is stored.
The heart. You know, when you're talking about, there's this theory of emotivism, the theory of feelings, of how you feel things. So, that if your mind is actually good, or if you feel pain when someone hurts you, where does it ache the most? Is it your head that aches you, or somewhere here? How do you, when you're in pain, when you're in emotional pain, where do you normally feel
The pain, because the nerve that connects the brain from the heart.
This is nice. That is nice.
Okay, now look at the instance you said here. A madman listening to you while you're talking. But the response coming is a different, because the information goes. But when the brain starts to process and brings a different thing.
It's not processing well.
Yes.
So that means I have a question. So what happens when someone is working? Is it conscious?
When someone is
Working.
Tiredness.
sleepwalking, he's unconscious.
Wait, you are sleeping.
He's unconscious already. Some people are like that. Seriously. They're unconscious. Because sometimes they have to help them. And they will not come back to the senses. You understand?
There's a sickness attributed to that.
Abnormal psychology.
Inflammation is
not all head, but so what does that mean? Who did that is the book that has that.
You know, I don't know, like the way, like I said it in the beginning, that the way God described this heart, when he said, لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا, that they have hearts, and they don't understand such hearts. So, and they have ears,